forest for the trees, regarding our gender identity and sexuality. When there's no place like home, empty air, an empty establishment. Friends with Dorothy, fighting for your civil rights. Out on the cruel streets tonight.
Today we welcome back a long-standing friend and supporter of the programme, and somebody who is fast emerging as one of the luminaries of the Irish LGBTQ plus theatre scene, Robert Downs from Squad Productions. Robert, welcome back again.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you. Your introductions get nicer and nicer every time I come on. So it's so sweet. Thank you.
Well, the last time round we had you on, it was with your very good friend, the delightful Ali Keohan. You were going to be on, if I recall, at Seen and Heard. Just can you tell our listeners, how did that production? How was it received?
Absolutely, yeah. We were very lucky. It went brilliantly. Unfortunately, I got COVID the week of the show, so I couldn't go myself. But thank God I wasn't performing, so that was a plus. But yeah, it was received amazingly, and we were so lucky. We got some absolutely brilliant feedback from the audience, and the best thing about Seen and Heard is to be able to take something new that you're working on and kind of do a work in progress and get people's feedback and interest, and maybe find other artists who are doing what you're doing, and finding kind of skill share opportunities there. And Seen and Heard is just amazing for that. So the show was quite different for us. It was very tech heavy. We used Foley sound, or Foley artistry, which was something that we hadn't kind of tried in a live context before. And now, I mean, I'm obsessed with Foley sounds. I'm going to be going around making sounds out of things for the rest of my life. But yeah, the show, people really responded to the show, and we're very, very excited to go back and start kind of developing it with the feedback that we got. So, yeah.
Well, what we're here to talk about today is the 2022 International Dublin Gay Theatre Festival. But before we talk about that, I have to share with listeners so a little surprise, and that is that in the 2021 festival, which unfortunately was virtual rather than live because of pandemic, one Robert Downs was awarded a bursary. Just give yourself a round of applause and tell the listeners what all that was due to.
Thank you. Yeah, so unfortunately, because we couldn't have a live festival, the International Dublin Gay Theatre Festival decided to give out bursaries, and there were some online performances. So I wrote a play called The Dwyer Scandal, and I entered it into the festival, and was very lucky to receive one of the Pride bursaries, which was brilliant. Grace keeps you in pocket and keeps you making work, which is brilliant. It was great to have, even though we couldn't have a festival, it was great to have something to work towards. Often you will write a play and it's actually very hard to get it out there. Mm-hmm. So it might be sitting, in your folder of completed plays for months and months and months before you even find a possibility of kind of showcasing it. And what was brilliant about what the Gay Theatre Festival did for this bursary was that they published all of our plays into a book called 18 and Coming of Age, I think is what it was titled as. And Brian Merriman, the festival coordinator and artistic director and founder, he has some kind of written stuff about the festival and some interesting kind of historical points about the festival since it started. And then there are the plays that received a bursary, which is brilliant, and it helps us to kind of, us as artists, to put our work out there for people to read and possibly stage. So it was a brilliant opportunity. I'm very, very thankful to them for having the ability to turn the festival around so quickly and to think on their feet and be able to offer something to artists, that was quite different to what they usually offer.
Might we be getting to see the Dwyer Scandal anytime soon?
Certainly, there are plans. There are definitely plans to stage it at some point. Right now, we have a couple of other things that are on the horizon, so we'll definitely be coming back to it at some point. But for now, it's not going anywhere, but it will. It will definitely in the future.
Just before we talk about your contribution to the 2022 festival, how important is it to have live theatre back again? Because the last 2 years essentially have been very lean by comparison to what you've been doing over the years.
Yeah, I was very, very difficult for a lot of us. I actually went into teaching because I couldn't work in my normal jobs. So it was very difficult. And I think the most difficult part about not having live theatre when you work in it is that nobody that works in theatre doesn't go to see theatre too. So not only are you missing your job, you're missing a large element of your social kind of life too. Um, I think it didn't hit me how important it was to have it back until I did a stage reading there in 2021, and it was the first kind of live thing that I was able to do, and oh, jeez, I was nearly in tears in the dressing room, as were the other artists that were there, the other actors that were there. But yeah, it's really wonderful to have it back and have it back at 100% capacity, because one of the biggest problems was as you cut capacity, theatre profits and margins are so fine and they're so tight and they're so dependent on getting bums on seats that when you start to take that ability away, the ability to pay people disappears. And it's very, very difficult to be an artist in Ireland anyway. So adding that extra layer of pressure of there basically being no opportunity to stage your work, it was incredibly difficult.
Yeah, well, of course, only on the north side you put bums on seats. In the south side you put posteriors on pews.
Of course, yes.
Robert, you don't specifically have a production in the 2022 festival, but you do have an event, and that's what we want to talk to you about. You're having a reading of a play that's a work in progress, and it's called Shame is the Name of the Game. So tell us about that so that the listeners can come along and enjoy a Sunday afternoon.
So on Sunday, the 8th of May, we will be doing at 3 p.m. We'll be doing a free stage reading of the first act of Shame is the Name of the Game, which is a play I've been writing over the past couple of months. And Tamar Keane, who's a longtime collaborator and the other half of Squad Productions, has been dramaturging with me. And basically, the play is a comedy, and it's set in a game show kind of format. And the idea of the game show is that there is a bank or a vault of shame. So the producers of the show have mined all of your data. They've seen every DM you've ever sent. They've seen every nude that you've sent. They've gone onto your grinder. They have everything. And the idea behind that is that you're trying to keep everything in the vault so that it doesn't get out. You have to play different games. You have to do different challenges. And in those challenges, things are revealed or not revealed. And you get to see the characters really going through some of the most shameful or embarrassing things that they've ever done live on to a studio audience and then live to the rest of Ireland. So yeah, it's very much a comedy. It's very much a dark comedy. But I'm very interested in the idea of kind of like shame and embarrassment and where the line is between being able to kind of express it and being very much trying to hide it. So the play kind of messes around with that idea. And it was kind of inspired partially by Monica Lewinsky has a TED talk about how her life was ruined by the way that the press treated her, and it's similar for Pamela Anderson, and it's similar for several other people that we've seen, and obviously particularly women. That people will release nudes, they will purposely try and find the most embarrassing thing that's happened, or they will Britney Spears shaving her head. Oh my God, she's crazy. Let's all talk about that. Yeah. There's like there's an economy behind shaming other people and embarrassing other people. It's Ireland.
Let's not leave Hugh Grant out.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
He did have an encounter, didn't he?
But this is it. Like, I mean, and I find very like Irish people in general, we have an interesting relationship to shame, and to, our own kinds of, not just sexual, but also just in general, you're shamed for doing things. You were shamed for doing things in school. Yeah, you were left-handed. Oh, we have to tie that behind your back and correct that.
Yeah.
We've always had a weird relationship with shame, so it's fun to kind of play it out in a game show.
Can I just give a caveat for people who might want to come along, and who we would hope will come along, that they're there to listen, they're there to enjoy, they're not there to be shamed per se. Is that correct?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. So audience members will not be dragged up on stage. There will be no participation whatsoever. It is all just a fantasy. The idea of the stage reading is kind of it will be entertaining. There will be actors reading the play as if it was a story or a radio play. And there will be, there will be like performance. But the idea with the stage reading is that it's not the play. There's no production. It's just hearing the story. Mm-hmm. And what we are hoping is that we'll be leaving feedback forms on the tables, and that audience members can fill out what they enjoyed and what they thought might work better on those forms, just to let us know what they thought and if they'd be interested in seeing a full version of the play. Also, this is kind of the first free event we've done in quite a while, and I think it's fun and important to do the odd free thing to kind of, to reach out to other audiences that you might have seen before, and to encourage them to come and see you, because obviously, people are spending their hard-earned money going to theatre, and you want to be sure that, you're going to have some level of connection to what you see. So doing these kinds of free events gives people a chance to kind of see the kind of work we make and see if they're interested in coming to see more of it.
Indeed. Just to give people the full details, it's Sunday the 8th of May. It's at 3 p.m. It's in Street 66, and you not only get to support Squad Productions at the International Gay Theatre Festival, you also get to support our great friends down there at Street 66, who were equally challenged during the pandemic as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I would encourage people to have as much fun as they like while they're there. You're there to hear a stage reading, but, stay for a pint afterwards, get a pint beforehand. Yeah. But,
maybe even wear RTE style clothes. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe I'll come dressed as Pascal Sheehy or Brian Dobson.
Well, you've now got the moustache, so you perhaps could be mistaken for Marty Morrissey. So,
oh, can you imagine? Oh, Marty Whelan now.
Marty Whelan, I was going to say. Robert, unfortunately, we've run out of time for today. Look, have a great festival, and come back to us as soon as you and Squad have new productions on the go, because we love to talk to you, or we love to hear about what's happening in LGBTQ plus theatre. So, Robert Downs, great to catch up with you again.
Always great to talk to you, mate. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Friends of Dorothy come out off the sidewalk and onto the street, to the sound of those legendary feet. When there's no place like home, anti-him, anti-establishment, with the chaff and the short straw, they'll have a stuff for sure. Anti-him, I'm anti-establishment.